Today we're talking about the 9 ways to stop procrastinating, stop being lazy, and start using your time wisely. If you're someone who finds that you're always procrastinating, you're always overanalyzing, overthinking, and you're struggling to get stuff done, this video is for you. The first step is identifying why we procrastinate. How many of you have ever wondered, why do I overthink? I want to get this done. I want to make progress in my life, but for some reason, I just can't seem to stop. Alexander Rosenthal, who's a procrastination researcher, explains the 4 types of trigger. We procrastinate because of expectancy, value, time, or impulsivity. People procrastinate because of a lack of value associated with the task, or because they expect that they're not going to achieve the value they're trying to achieve, or because the value is too far from you in terms of time, and finally, because you're very impulsive as a person. What's interesting about understanding where your procrastination comes from is that it allows you to understand what the challenge is and what the issue is without blaming yourself, without thinking that something is wrong with you. And actually, the clearer you get about the value you're going to get from the task, the amount of time you do have to dedicate to it, understanding what your procrastination trigger is going to help you understand which of the next 8 steps are useful to you as a solution. The second way to stop procrastinating is don't judge yourself. So many of us, when we procrastinate and overthink, start to feel that there's something wrong with us. We judge ourselves, we make ourselves feel guilty, we say negative things about ourselves and to others. We start saying things like, I'm so lazy, I'm so worthless, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. This doesn't make you more productive, more proactive, or more effective. How many times has putting yourself down made you lift yourself up? I don't think those 2 things go together. What ends up happening is that when we judge ourselves for being procrastinators, we create a prison of guilt. This becomes a space that we actually can't break out of, and it's how procrastination keeps us trapped by making us believe that we can't do anything, that we're no better. So we need to stop judging ourselves. How do we stop judging ourselves? By letting go, realizing that we all make mistakes and that we're going to leave that all behind and we're going to turn over a fresh page, that we're going to start anew. The next step is that you need to make it a big priority. How many of you have tried to change everything all at the same time? You say to yourself, I want to work on my health, I'm going to improve my career, I'm going to get promoted this year, and we're going to go on date night every night. You start getting fixated on improving every area of your life. It comes from this desire to be better and do more. But the truth is, you have to choose that one big priority. It has to be not only at the top of the list, in the beginning, it has to be the list. There is only one thing you can improve at a time, and you need to choose wisely. It's so easy to get caught up and think, I want to improve my career. I also want to learn more. I also want to work on my relationship. I also want to work on my health. We have to stop that and say, this is my big priority for the next 30 days. Make your first step a small step. You may want to be up here, but you need to start down here. You need to take the first step. The reason why most people never get started is that their goal is so big that they think they have to achieve that on day 1. They think that if they don't get there, they can't start here. And this is the most debilitating, frustrating feeling. And that's why we have to simplify and create that first small step. Reading is one of my favorite things to do. But sometimes my stack of books that I want to read is bigger than the amount of time I have. And at the same time, I'm trying to figure out which one am I going to get the most value from. And often I'll overthink and procrastinate. I'm sure you can relate. One of the ways I've solved that is the small step to me is using the Blinkist app. I get access to over 4,000 nonfiction books, and within 15 minutes, I can actually browse over the key highlights and key principles of the stack of books in front of me. As I dive deeper into the ideas and the lessons that they convert into these tiny blinks that I can read or listen to, I then know which book I want to dive into further. To To me, it's one of my favorite apps that really brings to life this principle of taking a small step in order to achieve a big goal. The next step is creating accountability. The reason why we procrastinate is because we're left to our own devices. If I don't feel like doing it, I don't have to do it. I can procrastinate, I can overthink, I can get distracted. When I really want to work on something, I find an accountability partner. I've had to do it with my health for a long time. I don't enjoy working out, you've heard me say that before, but I want to be fit, I want to be healthy, and I want to be alert, and I know that exercise is a big part of making that possible. I found an accountability partner in my tennis coach. She always shows up on time, and she'll make sure I get there if I get one of those excuses like, oh, I'm feeling tired today or I'm a bit sore today. She'll make sure that I'm there playing tennis no matter what. Knowing that someone else is already out there when it's cold, when it's raining, when it's hot, when they're tired, allows you to push yourself out of your comfort zone. When you really need to work on something and improve something, you often have to do it when you don't feel like doing it. When you don't feel like doing something, it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, because that's when you have to connect with the feeling after. We get so obsessed about how we feel before something when the feeling after is that much more important. Before you eat healthy food, you might not be attracted to it. After you eat healthy food, you feel good about yourself. But if you see that burger, or you see those fries, or you see that chocolate fudge cake, it feels good before, but then afterwards, you usually regret it. The next step is slightly counterintuitive. Don't make procrastination the enemy. We think procrastination's bad, it's useless, it's not going to help us, it shows that we're fearful or insecure. But procrastination can often be the greatest space for creativity. Allowing yourself to doodle, allowing yourself to free think, to free write, to freestyle is so important. Now, I can't draw the best, I'm not the best sketcher, but I love putting pen to paper and just allowing my mind to flow through my hand. Allowing myself to discover new ideas, new shapes, new thoughts, new names. Some of my best inventions and ideas have come from just allowing myself to procrastinate and to overthink. Sunny Brown, in her book called The Doodle Revolution, talks about how some of the greatest minds in the world doodled and allowed themselves to discover new ideas. The next step is understanding the difference between time versus energy or presence. I get it. All of us don't have a lot of time. And so one of the reasons we procrastinate is because we say, well, I don't have enough time to figure that out, so I'm just gonna put it off. I'll do it next week, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll think about it later, because we don't think we have the right amount of time. Here's what I've realized, and here's a hack that has helped me break through that idea. I've realized that when I'm present and focused, that's more powerful than any amount of time. When I'm alert, when I'm ready, even if I'm there for 15 or 20 minutes, I can actually make more progress than if I had an hour and I didn't bring my best energy. Ask yourself consistently, how can you bring your presence to the task, not your time? Don't let time be the limiting factor. The next step is a question you have to ask yourself. Do you just work better under pressure? Many of us just leave things till the last minute because we love that adrenaline, that pressure, that push, that momentum that comes with you've only got 48 hours. Now, this is really hard to deal with when it's untrained. When you're unaware or unconscious of this, you actually see yourself putting things off and then you stress yourself out and you feel anxiety brewing. But when you know that that's how you function, the best thing to do is set the deadline first and then work backwards. That's what I do. I know that I work better under pressure too, but I still set the deadline and I work backwards from that deadline rather than allowing myself to lose sense of time and then trying to fill it all in and fit it all in right at the end. The final step is called the ladder of leveling up. There's a beautiful analogy that's been told for many, many years, which I love. And it's that you can climb up a ladder, but is it against the right wall? Are you climbing up a wall that you actually want to climb up? If you climb up the left-hand side of the wall, but that wasn't the place you wanted to be at the top, there's no point of being at the top. And one of the reasons why we procrastinate and overthink is because what we're chasing isn't meaningful enough. It's not purposeful enough. It's not fulfilling enough. We don't realize that we're just trying to get up the wrong wall and we never take the first step because we don't actually care. Put your ladder against a wall that you care about climbing. I know that when I deeply care about the pain or suffering of another that I want to help support or serve, that gets me out of bed more than any other procrastination technique or hack in the entire world. Right now, Blinkist has a special offer just for our audience. Go to Blinkist.com/JShetty to start your free 7-day trial and get 25% off a Blinkist premium membership. That's Blinkist, spelled Blinkist.com/JShetty to get a 25% off and a 7-day free trial. I really hope that you benefited from these 9 ways and 9 habits to overcome laziness, procrastination, and break through to use your time wisely. I can't wait to see what you have to share in the comments and try these out. I'll see you soon.